And now let's greet our racer of swamp buggies.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Leonard Chesser.
Number two.
My name is Leonard Chesser.
Number three.
My name is Leonard Chesser.
All right, all three of them say so, only one of them's telling the truth. Here is Leonard's story. It says, I, Leonard Chesser, am the world's champion swamp buggy racer. The buggies are homemade and come in every style and shape imaginable. A first-rate swamp buggy operates as efficiently under the mud as on it. In fact, some drivers have disappeared for distressingly long periods of time. This annual run for the mud takes place in an Everglades bog in Florida. Now, since holes are placed in different sections of the course each year, skill and maneuverability are more important than speed. At one point in the race, a driver must stop his vehicle, step down through the mud and touch the bottom, if he can locate it, and then remount and get going. Without a doubt, this is the wildest, wackiest race in existence. The only contest known to man, in which the winner cannot be determined until he has had a bath. And the affidavit is signed Leonard Chesser. There you go. And let's start the questioning with Tom Kennedy, please.
Oh, the accents all qualify. They all sound like they could come from Florida. Those look like cars. Number three, or those, what kind of propulsion do you have on your swamp buggy?
Propulsion? What you mean?
What makes it go? Is it a propeller on the back, or is it a motor, a combustible engine type motor, or what?
It's a motor.
A motor, like an automobile.
Right.
Number two, I've been sweating out Walter Brennan for years. Is there really and truly such a thing as quicksand?
Yes, sir.
Number one, have you ever encountered quicksand personally?
Yes, sir.
Number three, have you ever encountered quicksand?
No, sir.
How about number two? Have you ever encountered at that point where you have to get out of your vehicle and step into the... How about alligators? Any chance of running into one of those?
Well, there is in Florida, but not where we run this race.
All right, there goes the buzzer. We go down to Kitty.
Thank you. Number one, I flew over the Everglades recently, and they're drying up. Is that not true?
Well, that's a report that we get on it, but actually they're not.
Well, I was there. They were.
Well, you were there during dry season. Rainy season starts in several months.
Oh, I see. And you do. And number two, you do your buggy racing in the wet season.
We do it in October and February.
And is it raining then?
A little.
Number three, what about the birds? Are they still there, the white heron and all that business?
Yes, ma'am.
And no alligators?
A few alligators.
Number three, who invented the swamp buggy and for what purpose? I mean, number two, I'm sorry, I'm looking at number two.
Tommy Burke.
Who?
And Tommy Burke.
Yeah.
He works for Kittle Pontiac.
And what's the purpose of it?
Well, the guy's just, you know, it was invented a long time, you know, before my time.
I see.
The race has been in existence over 20 years, but...
And from Kitty, we go to Bill Cullen.
Number three, how long does this race take to run? What's the running time?
Around the track, you mean?
Yeah.
I'd say around 2 minutes.
Number one, I noticed in the picture that at least one of the racers, perhaps more than one, had two men riding in them. What's the purpose of the extra man?
Well, when they stop to let the driver get out and touch the ground, the other man will keep the accelerator pushed down and keep the motor going, and will actually assist in putting it in neutral. And when the driver gets back in the buggy and starts off, pushes the clutch in, the motor is running free. If it's allowed to sit, well, it will drown out usually. I mean, if they stop.
Well, what is this 2 or 4 wheel?
I'm sorry, Bill. Now we go to Peggy.
Number three, how deep is the water on the course, just generally, not counting the holes?
Generally about 2 foot, 2.5.
Thank you. Now, number two, how deep are the holes that they dig for traps?
They vary. From the deepest one is about 6 feet, and anywhere from 0 to 6 feet.
Well, when you hit a 6-foot hole, how do you get up?
Well, you usually lose the race when you...
And the buggy and the driver. And the...
Well, number one, how much does one of these swamp buggies cost?
Well, it depends on the time and who does the labor. If you do it yourself, you can have as much as $3,500 in one. Depends on the motor that you're running, depends on the transmissions you have and things of that nature.
Thank you. Number 3, which town is this race course near? I mean, I saw stands there, so it must be people must get there some way.
Oh, it's in Naples.
Oh, near Naples, Florida. Thank you.
And there goes the bing bong. It is now voting time. Audience, and I'll take another peek around. We're looking at number 1. Take a peek at number 2. Another shot at number 3. And how would you vote if you were on the panel? Well, we'll find out what the panel has done.
Yeah.
Has everybody marked the number in?
I'm going with you, sir.
Let's start then with who? We start with Tom, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, Gary, you know something? Number 1 sounds about as authoritative as they come, but I'm going to go with number 3 because I was told there is no such thing as quicksand, and he's the only one who said there wasn't, or he hadn't. So I'm going to go with him on that.
All righty, we got a 3. And Kitty?
Well, I think it's number 3, and then I thought it was number 2 because he was very good about the race and about getting off and on and all that. And then I voted for number 1.
Shrewd thinking. We have a 1 and a 3, and Bill Cullen.
Well, number 1 gave me a good reason for the second occupant of the swamp buggy. And I hate to jinx you, Kitty, but I voted for number 1, too.
Oh, we're both all wrong.
Yep.
And Peggy.
Well, gee, I don't know about quicksand, but in Gentle Bend they had quicksand, and that was in the Everglades.
Movies.
That's TV. Number 2 is young and in condition, but they put him in there to fool me. I voted for number 1 because he said that the Everglades weren't drying up. And people who live there don't want that rumor to get around, even though a lot of people think they are drying up, honey.
All righty, it's 3 1s and a 3, and so will the real Leonard Chesser. Please stand up. Hoo-ha! Leonard, get back to you in a second if we have time. Number 1, sir, what is your real name? What do you do?
My name is Doug Hendry. I'm sheriff of Collier County, Florida, and Naples.
Hey, good to have you, sir. Number 2, sir, tell us about yourself.
My name is Bill Sanderson, and I'm a full-time bartender at Wednesdays at 86th and 3rd Avenue, and a part-time actor.
Ah, there. And the definitive answer then, Leonard, is that there is no such thing as quicksand, huh?
Oh, I imagine there is. I just ain't never been in it.
Oh, so for the wrong reason, Tom Kennedy got you. There is quicksand, but you just haven't seen anything but slow sand.
Oh, he was wearing alligator shoes, is really the way.
Oh, well, thank you, Leonard, and thank you, imposters, too, for being with us on To Tell the Truth.
This is Johnny Olson speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.